9 goals conceded with 3 scored and out of 2 competitions within a week. The Posh were hunted by the Foxes and the Imps. This is Talk Posh. Hello and welcome to Talk Posh, supported by Serpentine Green Shopping Centre. Tonight we discuss losses against Lincoln in the Checkertrade.com trophy and Leicester City in the FA Cup. The lads are here to chat through it all. If you want to contact us, comment below, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can tweet us at Talk Posh. Now this week we've got a special question to ask you, Dale, haven't we, mate?
Well, yeah, looking at obviously we've been doing the pre-11 and all that malarkey. What we need to do is either tweet us or on Facebook your one player from the past that you'd have back. Just one player, not 2 or 3, just one player. I'll start it off. All right, I'd bring back Mick Allsall.
Really?
Love Mick Allsall.
Big call.
Where would he fit in?
I don't give a shit.
You'd have to
Sorry,
drop
I don't
Grant
care.
for him, mate. You've done so well.
I was doing really well. I don't care where he fits in, what position, irrelevant where he'll fit in. I'll bring Mick Allsall back.
Anyway, Mick Allsall, Dale's going Mick Allsall. We'll speak about everyone else's later. Make sure you get it on Facebook, on the comments below, or if you're watching on YouTube, on Twitter. So, lads, we'll start with Tuesday's game against Lincoln. Got knocked out, didn't we? Quarter-final stages. While it was an entertainment game, to be fair, are you massively bothered with being knocked out of that trophy, Ben?
It's disappointing that we're not going to be going to Wembley. I think that's the main gist of it, isn't it? Not overly fussed. We've had a lot of extra games this season, especially with the replays, so it's not that bad. Lincoln they wanted it more than us. But apart from that, it was actually a really entertaining game.
If you was a neutral,
yeah,
it was a great game to watch.
I didn't walk away from that feeling overly gutted. It's just like I say, the point of not going to Wembley.
It's but then would you have been happy with Chelsea under 21s at home?
That's wrong.
You know, what's up?
I think I was more disappointed of losing against Lincoln than I was Leicester.
Really? That's a big call, Dale. It's a big call, mate.
But it was a better
Because
game.
we expected to lose
Look,
against
I was
Leicester.
more disappointed we lost against Lincoln. You know, we was 1 or 2 games away from obviously getting Wembley again. You know, I know a lot of people don't like the checker trade, this, whatever, but it was close for us to get another trophy potentially. You know, realistically, if we'd beat Leicester, how far could we got? Forget about the financial point of view for a minute. You know, let's not be the chairman or the money makers behind the club. Look at it from a fan's point of view. Would we have rather got to the 5th round of the FA Cup or got to Wembley in the checker trade?
Got to Wembley, yeah.
Well, there you go. That's my point. From a financial point of view, it would have been more financial for us to beat Leicester and got through to the next round. But I don't pay the bills at Peterborough United. Not my responsibility. I want to see my team be successful. I think getting to Wembley would have gone down as being successful.
But on the financial side, I think we've made something like 400 grand close to out of both of the competitions. So we've done well out of them.
But just going back to the 2 games, what one would I prefer to win out of the 2? If I could have chose one, it would have been Lincoln.
Should we get the fans involved again? Thumbs up if you wanted to, if you would actually prefer to beat Lincoln, or hearts if you would have preferred to beat Leicester and obviously advancing in that competition. Just be interesting to know. I think Dale's obviously put his hat in the ring and he's going for the Lincoln game, so we'll see. Anyway, just while we're at it, the tea lady's just dishing out drinks at the moment. She was a bit late home from work, so she's just coming in. This is her starring moment.
Where's mine?
You're going to be on camera?
Top man, thank you very much.
Actually, was Adam at the front.
Nice like this.
Cheers.
Lovely, thank you very much.
There we go.
I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Goodbye.
Bye.
The asshole.
Ben didn't get one.
Brilliant.
It's awkward, isn't it?
The result.
Yeah. Awkward. Good stuff.
That's all right.
Should we just leave it there then? No, just go back to the Lincoln game then, Del. Tell me a bit more about it.
Well, I enjoyed it, to be fair. Obviously, I didn't go, but I did watch it on iFollow. Mate, if anybody's watching it on iFollow, then try and listen to the commentary on the radio.
Isn't
Mate,
it out of
forget
sync?
it. It's about 2 minutes.
It's well out of sync. Yeah, don't bother.
Because there's no commentary on our
No, that's what I mean. Well, there is sometimes, but this week there's no commentary. You just watch the game.
Well, there's no commentary when you go to live match either.
No, there's not. But,
There's lots of parts coming through, Dale. Anyway, mate.
So what does that mean? It means I'm right.
No, Hearts was for Leicester, wasn't it?
Mate, you got it wrong. Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was quite a good game. I quite enjoyed it. It was it's fair to say you can see why Lincoln are doing well for themselves. I thought they put up a good show. And as you alluded to earlier, they wanted it more than us at the end.
Yeah, Lincoln have a team currently that is capable of holding their own in League One.
Without that,
They could easily be up challenging where we are.
If you think about it though, we could have been having this exact conversation at the start of January when we had Villa and Luton in the space of 4 days. Instead, we've just had Lincoln and Leicester. So realistically, we've actually progressed one further stage. When I don't know, I might have said it to you actually. I said I could have seen us losing Luton, Villa, and we had Wigan in the league that week. I said that is a possibility that we could lose them 3 games.
Yeah,
We didn't,
well.
you know.
You cold them, by the way, mate. I didn't realise.
I didn't even realise it.
Anyway, we're going to go to Chris, who's going to social media. Obviously, we started off with a question, first of all, regarding what player, Dell's question of the day. What you got?
I don't think I've had a name come in yet for that question so far. So
To be honest, there was only 9 people on at the point.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
free
was it?
time.
Okay,
Plenty now, so you might need to repeat
Ask
it.
it again.
we've had a few people come in regards to the Lincoln Leicester thing. Roberts agreed with Dow. He was much more gutted to lose to Lincoln. Oh no, sorry, but not as much as he was to lose to Leicester. I guess from a personal perspective, Leicester, we had a massive crowd there, and we could have done without a fan base going forward. But we
beat Leicester, but
yeah.
there'd have been 8,000 there on Saturday. You know?
Oh, that's a big call.
Do you really think
I think
that?
you're right.
I don't think so.
Honestly, I think if we say we beat Leicester 2-0 comfortably,
Yeah, because they've won vouchers for the next round. That's why.
Yeah. Just finish off with Chris, and then we'll move on.
Alan's come in and agreed with Dell, saying he'd prefer to have beaten Lincoln.
I'll lead you lot for that.
So someone's brought up a question that I was going to touch on later on about the Leicester game and questioning the selection of Lopez,
Yeah, we'll talk
which
about it.
is a matter to
Yeah.
bring in. And someone's asking why is Adam wearing a scarf. So
Yay! There you go. So what? So yeah, Dell's question of the day was: if you could bring back any player, then from the past, for Posh player, if you could bring them back now, who would you bring back? Dell started it off with Mick Housel.
Actually,
So-
I know mine now.
Oh, you do?
Terry Bly.
Terry Bly. Good call with that.
We'd be up. Full stop.
did you know? Another little stat of the day:
Stato Jacko.
6 years since Boyd scored from the halfway line.
Is that long, right?
Mm.
Against Huddersfield.
Well, yeah, and then the prep.
We went to that.
Anyway, I think we should move on from the Lincoln game and talk about the FA Cup game on Saturday. I was working on turnstiles. 20 minutes in, obviously, got to my seat, got into my got there.
Still just
It was
faking it.
absolutely dead, absolutely quiet. So I missed the 2 goals, and so you boys are gonna have to start me off because I don't know what happened.
We're
in the same
position.
They're in the same
Yeah.
position, so you boys need to start
I
off.
didn't get until 15 minutes.
Really?
So you-
Del, it's down to you.
From the buzz of the lead up to it, you know, and it was a good buzz. I was saying to my little boy, it's just like, you know, years ago when we was like in the championship, the early DMAC days, I think it's fair to say, the atmosphere was great. It was leading up to it was really good, but then again it just went so flat. You know, after the 2 early goals, the whole atmosphere was flat, and it affected El Crowd. Even El Drummer Boy was a bit late getting into it.
15 minutes later, I was.
But yeah, it was just flat. It felt as though we'd lost. Well, the game was over, as Grant said. The game was over after 9 minutes, and it was just there was no way we was going to get back into it. I know we had a bit of a spell in the second half, but
And it's a shame we couldn't bring that spell into the first half.
yeah,
which we had in
it was
the
just so
second half.
disappointing. And I think the other thing that was disappointing is the mistake. The first mistake that led to the first goal was from a player you don't expect to make that type of mistake. However, well, not so much a throw. You know, throw, fair enough. But even when Grant got the ball, he sort of dilly-dallied on it, and even give it away from trying to have too much time on the ball. He didn't actually learn for the rest of the game. How many times did he get caught with a ball thinking he had more time than what he did? You know, the Leicester players, I thought that was fantastic, as we said earlier. They was chasing everything down. They was closing things down. They was on you. You didn't have time to breathe.
They definitely had. Sorry, because they definitely had a game plan of knowing how big the crowd was. They just would want to score as early as they can to shut up the crowd, and they did, and it worked.
well, we gave away those first 2 goals, didn't we?
Hmm.
I mean, we were in a similar position to you and didn't see it. Those first 2 goals go in, got in an atmosphere dead, and no sooner had I really sat down than they scored that 3rd goal that looked absolutely class.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it just looked like we were going to get trounced. So
Their 3rd goal, I mean, I don't know if anyone you saw Man City's 2nd goal yesterday against Bristol. It was pretty much identical to that, and it's just a piece of class which we can't compete with. You know, it's
Well, like people saying, people going on about reserve team. It's a reserve team that I think, would you say, Alex, £80 million?
It was, but yeah, we'll go back to that. As we said earlier, half the players are first teamers, half of them are reserves. But even the reserves just made our star players look not even ordinary.
Do you think they were a bit? Do you think we were a bit surprised? Because when you play a higher league team, you do expect to have more time on the ball because that's just how it is higher up the league.
Maybe,
but they played the complete opposite way
because they wanted to score first. That's what I'm saying, and they wanted to show, and they did. You're right, because when I've watched the highlights, they were pressing so much in that first 10 minutes, and that's why they scored the goals.
So our players couldn't really do anything.
Just talking about the big players, the likes of Maddison, the likes of Marriott, I was quite glad they didn't play that well. To be fair, aren't we all? means well, you know, on the main level, on that main stage against in the front of the TV cameras, they didn't really perform, and really on paper that's quite a good thing because we haven't heard anything.
Yeah, if you want to keep them there, fair enough. But you know, from an individual, let's not be selfish. You know, I think anybody, genuine Peterborough fans, want their players to go on and to better things. You know, like we did with Boydie, etc., etc. Gal, Britson, no longer. But I think Saturday's game proved that they've got a long way to go. If they want to go up to the next level, even championship level, they've got a long way to go because the skill set wasn't there. Well, look at Maddison. He was marked out of the game, done nothing, and all he done the rest of the game was just moan.
He did.
Danny Murphy touched on it on Match of the Day and said one of the biggest problems with Posh was we didn't adapt to the situation. We kept to the same game plan all the time.
We left it
and of course, when you give away 2 early goals while you're chasing the game, it changes your approach completely. I think that had kind of killed off the plan from the word go.
It was like watching men against boys, with all due respect. Marriott didn't have a sniff of the ball. Yeah, he was working hard, he was chasing hard, but we was nowhere near the level we needed to be. I think even if we had played, I think if Peterborough played their best they played all season, still don't think we would have got anywhere close to them. I was that impressed with Leicester.
It's something that I wanted to bring up. So Anthony Grant got sponsors man of the match.
No way, absolutely no way.
Which I thought. I mean, I think he's been quality this season. Absolutely quality.
Agreed.
And I thought he had his poorer game on Saturday. Who was your man of the match Saturday?
For me,
because I would have given it to Bond.
I thought Bond superb.
Which is a strange
one. Andrew Hughes did all right. He didn't do too much wrong.
I thought some of the distribution from Forrester was good, but I hadn't seen the second goal, which he'd given away at that point.
And is it bad to say that I'd personally give man of the match to the goalkeeper that just conceded 9 goals?
No, because you know sometimes.
But how many of those were his fault?
How many were? Did he make any mistakes?
No, that's
absolutely superb saves.
Yeah,
you know, so that's a good shout. But when they said Grant for man of the match, I think everybody was shocked. It really was. Nothing personal, but he just.
It's something. But I mean, the next thing is we need to wipe the last 2 games out of our systems massively.
Just carry on with the players. Someone's put it up here, Lopez. A lot of people have sort of criticised him, etc. But yeah, he made a few mistakes. So did everybody. But he put one of the best crosses in that I've seen all season.
I thought
Marriott should have done so much better.
Not only the cross, but the build up to the cross. The way he won the ball, the way he took it past, the way he got the ball and crossed it in. Once he went off, the change of the game, it petered out.
We were actually a worse team when he went off. That is true. But if you watch the highlights, it shows you a couple of really nice touches that he did, and they were really beautiful touches. But then he had other times when he was just running in circles.
Consistency has been a bit of a problem there this season. You know, I think it was the MK game. He couldn't cross for toffee. To be fair, you know that ball he put into Marriott that we should have got a goal for against Leicester. He had ample opportunity to do that against MK, and I don't think he delivered once.
The funny thing is, though, it's the people on the social media, and I think was it D-Mac who said that he is the one player that everyone goes to as soon as he makes mistakes. That, you know, and whereas there was a lot of more experienced players, we've already touched on Grant, that has made them mistakes. And to be fair, we have in this studio as well over the season criticised Lopez. Probably, maybe unfairly or fairly, I don't know. But why is it
critical when he was at the right back position, when he was being played out of position?
That is true.
We have always been, contrary to what people think, I think we have been complimentary and we have been critical of all players. You know, Maddison, I've been complimentary of Maddison. I really have. Go back to some old shows, record it, and watch them again. But you know what I mean? We have given both constructive feedback, positive feedback and just slated some players.
I think we have edged on the side of positivity with Lopez since he moved into the midfield role.
Position, yeah. But I actually think Lopez is really struggling with all the social media, with all the weight of expectations on his shoulders, people criticising him.
I think
he's young. I really hope he does fulfil his potential.
Yeah, obviously. Let's go back to Chris.
Yeah, going back, someone said bring back Dominic Iorfa.
Yeah, but he wouldn't score. He's fat, he could run, but he couldn't score.
That would be all for bed. Alan's come on again and said what's concerning is the ability to have such an abysmal first half and then come out fighting in the second half, and that's happened a few times this season.
It's happened the last two seasons.
If we could put two decent 45 minutes together, where would we be?
Yeah.
First 2 or 3 goals in League One, you don't get punished. 9 out of 10 shows the class of the Premier League. I mean, that cross for the third goal, I still think in League One you would give the player a bit more time on that wing, because you don't expect that quality of cross and the quality of the finish from the striker.
That was really
the pinpoint of the ball our defender would have probably got to, but it's one of them things.
Tim said watch both the Posh game and the Newport one on telly, and the difference was the atmosphere. And I think again we touched on that. Those 2 goals just took the atmosphere.
But it wasn't an awful one. But I think all the fans were actually accepting of who we were playing. They didn't want to be losing, that early, that many goals. But people weren't screaming, shouting abuse. They weren't really getting on the team's back as such, were they?
The shame about this all is that all these guys. I mean, I was on the turnstiles. I was constantly busy, and there was a lot of different people that I didn't recognise. Different nationalities coming through my gate. A lot of them were wearing merchandise that they blatantly just went and bought. So no, but that's all in my mind. Good stuff. The disappointing bit is that if we had won that 2-0, I think 8,000 this Saturday might have been a bit ambitious, but we would definitely attracted a few more players, few more fans.
I don't even think, as you say, winning. I don't even think we necessarily had to win the game. I just think if we put a better account of ourselves, because we were poor. Irrelevant who the opposition was, I thought we was quite poor across the field. Well, every position. But there we go. It's done now. Move on.
I mean, the thing I wanted to bring up about Leo is that I think people were sort of saying, how's he got in the squad straight away, because I thought Junior's played quite well for the last couple of games.
Why was he even included?
But I mean, don't get me wrong, whoever goes out there will put 100% in, but I think Junior's been, Alex, can you stop slurping that too like a bad kid? But it's Junior's been playing in a more, it's quite nice to watch, a defensive role, because he's been dropping back a bit, and you saw when he came on,
he'll chase. He won't stop.
I mean, yes, he scored and it was disallowed, but also, I mean, you might be able to tell from your view. I don't actually think Junior was offside.
I don't know.
I thought it was sort of. I thought Marriott was offside and Junior, and he finished that. But obviously they're playing to the whistle. I just thought Junior's starting. I think it was Milton Keynes away when he first came back, weren't it? We said how he didn't look up to sharpness.
You didn't expect it.
I do like Junior. I know a lot of people statement said he'll never make a professional footballer or whatever.
Well, he's proved them wrong already.
Right? As soon as he got back to fitness, he was back in the field. I like Junior. I like his work ethic. I like his attitude, and I like the fact that he appreciates the chance he's been given.
And him and Marriott, they've got a connection together. Maybe it's a friendship together, but that they seem to work well together as well. And I'm quite disappointed that they haven't been really given a chance as the two up top.
Do you know something else that stood out for me against Leicester? All 11 of their players were probably around the 6 foot mark. They were
a
massive,
big old team. Yeah. But you don't seem to see that many really short players kind of making it up to the Premier League level, like in vast quantities. Like we've got in our team, we've probably got quite a fair number of.
I think you're trying to say that you're not going to
win.
No. Is that what you're trying to say? Really?
Well,
I still had ambitions of playing for.
No. But I mean, they tend that kind of top athletic ability. Bigger, taller, faster.
Strangely enough, though, the best player on the planet is a tiny man.
Yeah. It's weird, that, isn't it? Weird that way. So I just wanted to talk about, is it Gray, who was in that sort of attacking midfield? The amount of space and time he had in that second half, time after time, he was getting that ball in that area. Now I was speaking about this today at work, and I think a lot of that is just where he was positioned, and not so much our players not being able to pick him up, because they were probably trying to. It just shows you the class, because what he would have done, he's got that mindset and that
quicker mindset.
that quicker mindset, and I think that's proven on the class between the two teams is how he were able to find space in that real small area, and I thought he'll dominate the game a lot.
I agree with you. He's got a quicker mind than most of the first division players, but yet again, and I've mentioned it before on previous shows, is we are always so slow to push out. You know, once we break, the attacking ones go, fair enough. But from the midfield and the defence are always just lagging behind. You know, it's not rare to see 5 or 6 Peterborough players together and not an opposition anywhere near them, because we're just too slow getting out. We're too slow getting back in our position. Even when we've been attacking, we need to defend. Yet again, we're always 2 or 3 paces behind.
I think part of that though stems from the fact that there's a natural
lazy.
There's always this kind of attempt to play out from the back, so everyone drops quite deep to receive the ball,
which is fine.
And doesn't help us in the progression.
Which is fine. Forward. But once you've done that and you release the ball, you need to push up with it. You can't just push the ball up there. No. Why do you need to drop back in? There's always, and start watching a few games and just particularly take notice of it. It looks like we're playing in a circle.
Yeah.
So you've got your attackers, you've got your wingers, and you've got your sort of defence. And the midfield is sort of dropped further back in a defensive role. There's always a circle and a big hole in the middle.
I think we struggle as well. There isn't an option if you want to go long with that ball to get it out. Mariah said they're playing up front are always going to be out.
Well, Danny Lloyd, a lot of the time, the ball was going up to Danny Lloyd, big ball, and he was just, he's got no chance, has he?
The one probably tall player we've got in an attacking sense like that, Madison, isn't really competent in the air. But you don't really want him to be winning headers. You want the ball going into his feet, to be fair, as well.
You don't be winning headers, but you at least want him to be attempting to win a header.
But you wouldn't naturally, as Bond, you wouldn't think I'm going to pass the ball out to Madison like that. Not like in a day when we had like Weltdown or someone like that who we could reliably target again and again. I think that stems back to this idea that we could really do with a big lad up front.
Yeah, maybe up front. Do you know one big lad that was brought in to do something, which is a bit surprising how he's been the last couple of seasons? When we signed Tapazzoli, he was bought more or less because of how many goals he scored from set pieces from Mansfield. Yeah, he scored some like 12 plus, even more than that in the season before he came to us. But since he's come to us, he's from a defensive aspect, but he hasn't pulled off the set piece finishes that he was bought in to do.
Yeah, if you look at it, we're still scoring goals, and Taylor's only got 2 goals, hasn't he? He scored 2 in the league and 1 at Cambridge, so that's his partner. Maybe we're not going for the defensive headers at the corners. We are more because we're still scoring. We're still second top goal scorers in League One. And if you go back to League One, that was probably the positive for us on Saturday, the results.
So imagine where we'd be if we actually had defenders and midfielders who chipped in.
Championship.
Well, imagine we'll be Premiership. We'll be in the Champions League.
We're having 13,000 every week.
Anyway, moving on from that, then let's talk about Saturday's game, and let's go back to obviously the league. We play Southend. Currently, they've just hired a new manager, haven't they? We've struggled a couple of games this season already, so
we've also struggled at beating teams like Bury and Oldham, which we've just done in the last 3 weeks, haven't we?
That is true. So do you think we've turned a corner, Jacko?
It's a home game as well. It's like I said last week. It's a way that we tend to struggle at the lower teams. At home, it's not always a different proposition. It does happen occasionally they come and get results, but we usually have. That's one of those matches where we have the awful first half and then we pull it together in the second.
Like 0-0 at half time, but I think the way that we've got both cups out of the way with now, we've got to fully focus on the league. We look at like I say, the results from Saturday.
They were positive.
Really positive. We win our both games in hand against Walsall and Bury. We're back in the playoff mix, and also if you look at the playoffs, I thought we were just going for one space.
It's 2 or 3 now.
It's 2 or 3.
It has opened. I said Scunny were falling into it. And Scunny and Bradford was such a terrible run.
They can't win at home.
They was it 4-0.
But like you just said, Scunthorpe. It's Scunthorpe, Bradford, and Charlton, which are them spaces. Obviously, there's Portsmouth and Rotherham around us, which are going through it as well.
You look at what's happening to Bradford at the moment as well.
Is that deja vu?
Yeah, definitely. He was probably just looking at his phone.
But we win our 2 games in hand. I think we've got a real good chance if we can put a little run into the league together.
I think aside from Bradford as well, we've got to play all those teams once more at least, haven't we?
Scunthorpe on Valentine's.
So you start winning a few of those games, and you're taking it's
that's the thing. Yeah, it is a 6.
We should be able to, if we can win those games.
You're taking 3 points off them, and they're taking none off you, so they're losing. And
we've got them at home, haven't we?
Yeah, it's Tuesday night as well, which we seem to like, don't we? But it's massive, and I think you've got to. But like you said last week, we're going to bogey teams like Gillingham, which we've never done well there about until Jubilee scored last night. We've really got to push on in the league now. We kept having quite good runs in the league, but then having a cup game to disturb it. Mm-hmm. So we put like 2 league games. We've just got league games.
So no excuses then is what you're saying.
Cup finals.
No excuses. D-Mac spoke to BBC and they put on sound bites on Twitter earlier, but I think he actually spoke to them before the Leicester game, and he was talking about. He said this: the squad should be in the top 6, need to be in the top 6, and has to be in the top 6. That's true, isn't it? He doesn't seem very happy, but he, 8th or 9th at the moment. He said he's not good enough, and you can't argue.
The thing is, yes, getting into the top 6, but we can't just get into the top 6 and leave it there. The idea of getting into the top 6 is to take that chance of getting promoted via the playoffs. Now, unfortunately, can anyone get past Wigan, Shrewsbury and Blackburn at the minute? No. Only 3 people can go.
We always thought as well Wigan and Blackburn were going to be up there. I think, So essentially, you're always playing for a playoff spot.
So can we get past Shrewsbury? Now, yes, we've got past them once this year, but I'm very surprised how they're still going.
Yeah, I thought they were going to fall away. They've done well.
We're in February nearly now, and they're still going. So they're obviously going. But
you also got to think the cup runs are basically forced us to have a bit of a backlog of fixtures. You said if we win those couple of games, we could be in the mix there.
But the thing is, Shrewsbury have got them backlogs.
No. Ignore Shrewsbury, but I mean the other teams around us. If we win a couple of games, we could be in the top 6 that McAntony's saying we should be.
If we win our games in hand against Walsall and Bury, we're in it. So that's the way we're going to look at it.
Yeah, I think it's a bit critical of McAntony when you consider the timing of fixtures might have an impact on it.
But he was saying he was expecting. He wanted to be in 3rd or 4th position at the moment, and obviously we're not. And he sets all these targets and stuff, doesn't he? But he pays the money, and he owns the club, so he's got every right to come out and say these things, doesn't he? So.
Anywhere you work, they set the targets higher than you're going to achieve, don't they? That way they don't have to pay you bonuses.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. I might be not getting a bonus this year, then. Obviously.
That's because you don't do the work.
Yeah, that's true. Too busy doing this. Anyway, let's go into Prediction League, Chris. You've updated the Prediction League. We're going to be sending that out on Twitter soon.
Yep.
What's going on?
I'm still hanging on at the top there.
Oh yeah.
I've looked out. I had a couple of weeks where I got the correct result.
When we lost.
No. When we went 0-0 and 3-0. Yeah. But yeah, I think Levi's hanging there in 2nd place at the moment, and it's
Levi's hanging in there, is he?
I think this week. I think this week just gone. There wasn't a lot of points going around until I think only one person I saw went for Leicester, and I think they were probably
a Leicester fan
who got in there. And I think out of everyone who went in there for prediction, only him, me, and one other person I think went for the Leicester player to score first anyway. So and no one I think Diabate only signed for him the week before, so I don't think anyone knew about him anyway.
Fair enough.
Back to the league, and I think if we can get a win this weekend, then I think we'll see a few more points going in there.
Definitely, that's good. Remember, it's sponsored by Serpentine Green, and you can win that prize that is sitting at the front there. A lovely signed shirt. So we need to do predictions for the game against Southend. Del?
Right, I'm going back to my original 4-2 Madison.
Oh, God.
It's got to be done.
Okay, mate. I'd like it to be done.
However, I think it's only fair.
Put the caveat on it.
It's got to be done. I'm going to go 4-2 Madison with the likelihood or the possibility that Madison gets sold before the transfer window. Right. My backup will be Marias.
Just quickly, if Marias scores first, and Madison's still here,
I don't get a point.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I don't think we can have a backup. I think we've got to be confused.
No, but fair. No, if it's someone who's like you're going to pick Madison or Marriott this week, it's fair enough that you can pick another one. I think.
Jacko,
2-0.
Hello.
Hello.
Forrester.
Ooh,
Do you know what? We're getting tweets in a minute. No sound.
I'm going to go 2-0 Marriott.
You want to back up?
Nope.
Don't need one.
I'll go for 2-1 Moraes.
Chris?
3-1 Lloyd.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, don't forget to look out for the tweet in the next few days and get your score predictions on there. Chris?
Is it worth Adam hanging on until after the transfer window to put that tweet out there and then no one's
Probably a wise idea, Jack.
Do
Wait
the tweet
until
Thursday then.
do the tweet Thursday and see what happens.
That'll save
I
any
say until
arguments
midnight
on
on Wednesday,
people
so-
going.
No, that's crazy. Chris, just go back to social media quickly. Is there any more comments coming through?
Leicester have Sheffield United at home.
Who cares?
That's irrelevant.
Who cares?
I forgot about that actually.
Yeah,
That
that's
explains it.
Leonardo, said we won't sign a big lad. We won't swap wideish players for that kind of opportunity. Someone suggested bringing back Exodus, I think.
Oh yeah.
I see that's what they
Big
mean by
X.
Big X, yep. Someone suggested going back to Dell's question about having Charlery back up front.
Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And Alan again, who's been given a lot of commentary tonight, saying it was just disappointing that someone got this performance like that. We'll probably see less people turning up.
Yeah, that is a shame, and that is a big talking point. We always talk about attendances on this show and what we can do to make it better. But yeah, there you go. So transfer deadline day is Wednesday, 31st. You know, there's been talks about our big time players, Madison, Marriott, possibly going. Tafazoli as well has been in the news about as well. Do we expect to see any business before Wednesday?
Do you honestly want to know? After Saturday,
I do honestly want to
I
know.
don't think
that's
it
why you
will.
asked the question, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I asked. Yeah,
So I'll give you an answer. Yeah?
yes,
Fine.
an honest answer.
On it. After Saturday's performance, no. I think if they had a really good game on Saturday, like you covered, and we got further, I think there could have been a possibility.
Well, you think that one match is enough to
I
put the team?
would disagree. As a scout, you've got to have looked at a few
Yeah.
games,
You
surely.
have.
But I
You
don't
wouldn't think they played well in
It
January.
depends
No, I
if
agree.
the team in the championship is desperate enough to bring in a striker or a winger. Or
They've
possibly
looked to
both.
see how they perform against a better team, i.e. Leicester. Reserve some of them. But there was nowhere near.
If
Absolutely nowhere near.
Marriott's been linked to Palace, who are Premier League, and Marriott cannot play to his full potential against, as Del keeps saying, Leicester reserves, then is Marriott going to be performing against the top six?
It's
Premier
an
League
interesting
clubs?
I think I saw today Palace were linked with Barnes at Burnley. If that falls through and they're still in the market for a striker, that's when you see that last minute bid, and they probably think they can get away with a cheeky £5 million, £6 million bid.
We've already said that we've already said that we're not turning. We've turned
turned down
four.
five.
We've turned down four.
Yeah.
I think we'll turn down.
But have we really turned down for?
Well, this is it.
really.
You know.
Was it £4 million outright? That's the question again. If it's £5 million straight up front, no kind of add-ons or anything like that. £5 million in one lump sum, I think that could sway us.
But it's left it too late. If it's Marriott, it's left it too late that we can go and get a
That is
decent
very true.
replacement.
Ben.
I
That is
was
very-
being-
unless he has got something in the pipeline.
I think Madison will go. I really do.
You
And
really
we've
think about
well, do you know what? Worst situation, we've
We've
replaced
actually
him
replaced him
already.
already.
That is why I'm thinking Madison will go. We brought in a two lad. We got Ward and we brought our mate George.
And you got Danny Lloyd.
Oh,
already.
mate,
Danny
George.
Lloyd.
You sound like
Okay.
your best mates with him.
Mate your George.
You've got his
You know,
surname, that's why.
We have got that many sort of
Can't
people
say
that can
really.
fill his position. So
It's still worrying, though.
Not
I
really.
mean, even if we get all the way to just before the window shuts, it was only a few years ago. You remember we were at St Neots playing that friendly.
the last game,
A Sombalonga. A few hours before the window shuts, he plays the friendly game, and you're
he's gone.
thinking, well, but by the end of the game, we already knew he was going
St.
because that's when the
Neots
bid come in.
Yeah, it's
St.
his last
Neots
game.
and-
It was
That's
St
friendly.
Neots in pre-season friendly.
Yeah, I do remember it.
Yeah. I think it was Tyrone Barnett scoring was the next season.
And the season before was when what's his name, Tommy Rowe was out for about 2 months from dislocated shoulder or something. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
something
that
similar
guide.
to that. But that's what I mean. Where they took Brit literally. It was a offer we couldn't turn down, but we didn't have anyone. We just soldiered on with Connor,
The thing
didn't
is,
we?
We've done a lot of late business. Like you think Ryan Bennett when he went to Norwich, he went last. sort
He
of
did,
minute,
but
didn't
that
he?
was all. We knew he was going.
We know that, but it's worrying that
But with him going, we signed him back on loan, didn't we?
For the rest.
For the rest
For
of the season.
Yeah.
This is
that-
my
yeah.
concern though, that these bigger teams leave it till the last minute and then think they'll take a punt. Because for someone like Palace in the Premier League now, the way the TV money is and things like that, you know, even £7 million is not a massive amount of money, is it? You can almost take a punt on that.
Alex has got a new toy.
He's swinging his
it's
rod between his
it's an
legs.
extended rod with a black thing on the end, and he's
It's the biggest thing he's had in his hand.
he's playing around with it. Bless him.
The big worry is we've basically brought players in to cover Maddison going, and he's not the one that goes. It's Marriott. I think that's
That is going
the
to be
worry.
really loud, Alex. Sorry, Chris, but it was right next to your face. He's putting his rod in your face. So, So any more transfer news just before we move on?
Well, it was also said, weren't it, that if Miller goes, that frees up the money for a potential transfer to come in. But if he doesn't go, or if he doesn't leave permanently, then obviously whoever we were going to sign has gone out the window.
Good talking point, Ricky Miller. Del, you had a few comments on him before the
Yeah, I
game,
did.
before the show.
Obviously, it's not worked out for him. Clearly not worked out. And I'm actually with Ricky Miller on his stance. Right? Whilst he's not performed for Peterborough, he's been. We've accepted a few bids from different clubs, whatever, and he keeps turning them down because it's not where he wants to go logistically. And you know what? I wouldn't go either.
So this is the news that DMAC has announced that Ricky Miller, also we've been offered money for Ricky Miller, but he wants to stay close to home. So instead of taking this opportunity, he's going to stay on the bench. So you're happy for him to do that?
I wouldn't say I'm happy for him, but put yourself in Ricky Miller's situation. Okay,
a guy that had a massive opportunity at his hometown club and he blew it.
He's already blown it once, so he might be thinking, you know, I've got a contract here for 3 years. I don't really want to move. I'm going to stay where I am. He's not going to play.
He's what? He's
So they
28, is he?
Yeah,
So he's getting
becoming
towards
29 this year, I think.
But is he really? He probably realises he ain't going to make it anyway.
Right. So he's
you're going to take 3 years worth of salary, ain't you?
But you're getting towards the end of your career as such. You've got the chance to play first team football for this club, whoever has bid for them. I know you're going away from your hometown, but I think when you're coming towards the end of your career, you need to be playing football still.
You say hometown,
He's gonna-
he doesn't live here anyway, he lives in Welling, doesn't he?
So what's the difference between Ricky Miller and Naby?
We don't know what Naby did wrong. We know what Miller did.
Can you stop if you're going to upset me?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
getting
sorry.
upset. Look, he's even
Anyway.
looking down. Is he down there?
No.
Are you keeping with you at all times?
No, I can understand why Darragh wants to get rid of him. 100%.
Oh,
Mate,
yeah.
I'm with
Yeah,
Darragh.
yeah.
I think he needs to go.
Yes.
But if I was Ricky Miller, I won't be forced to do something I don't want to do.
Okay, if you're with Darragh, I'm gonna give you a thing. Darragh did a Periscope at the end of November and said he's got a month to prove himself.
Yeah.
He came on at Charlton, messed it up. That was it.
Yeah. He ain't been given enough chance, but then since then he's had the other situation, hasn't he? So tough.
We'll go to Chris. Chris, anything more on social media about Ricky Miller, or obviously the Adele's question of the day, or anything like that?
Come in. It was a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very good shout. Jimmy Quinn.
Jimmy Quinn.
He would have been great just for the morale. One of the funny after Jimmy Bullard, he's one of the funniest players we ever
He
had.
was super. But when we had Jimmy Quinn in, the first 6 months of the season, well, the first half of the season, he was on fire with the goals, wasn't he?
Him and Martin Carruthers.
Oh,
yeah.
mate, he was top scorer and everything. And then
Who finished with more goals at the end of the
I
season?
can't
Quinn
remember,
or
but he
Carruthers?
basically just stopped scoring. But yeah, he was a great shout. Great shout.
Jimmy Quinn, what a guy.
We got
Chris,
got the end of his career, didn't we?
anything else, mate?
Some people say Maddison may go, Marriott won't. That was from Craig. Alan said no movement, hopefully. Alan again said can't see the point in sending your best assets so close to the start of the season without any backup. Or I guess this was
So Maddison's going.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Alan again, final comment. I think we missed a trick with Ricky Miller. Someone was setting up his goals at Dover last season, and they are still scoring for fun in the National League. Surely we should have looked at the assist makers.
I disagree with that. To be fair, we have got Maddison, the assist king. Even though, did anybody change subject? Anybody see the Chelsea, the Arsenal own goal, the old pinball?
I'm very forgetting.
Mate, right, even Maddison would have claimed an assist on that, wouldn't he? You know what I mean?
Mate, he was looking the wrong way, weren't he? And he's like pinged off him and
but
pinged
we've
off
got-
him.
We've not only got the king, we've got the prince as well. We've got the crown prince in waiting behind him.
Yeah,
Cooper.
Oh.
That's probably a factor as well. Cooper and Ward were both cut tied, weren't they?
Yeah.
For the last 2 games.
Yeah.
We'll try not throw a link
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, I think that is about it. I just want to say thank you because there's been a lot of good comments coming in tonight, and it's really good to get interaction. And we'll make sure that going forward we get a lot more interaction with you guys at home, because that is what we're all about. We're all about trying to provide a platform for you guys to air your views and obviously air our views in the studio as well. So just want to thank all our sponsors: Serpentine Green Shopping Centre, the Spice Market Doku.
Spicemarket.co.uk in Stamford, Bourne and Spalding.
Yeah, I was doing so well there, I thought, as well, and then I
And your hairdressers.
and the hairdressers, head-to-head barbers. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you catch up if you want to on YouTube. Of the Posh.
Push.
Yeah.